Time for another stock review. This time it's a play it now, a $100 super chat. Just some moments ago, one of my members gave me a super chat. And when that happens, we stop the show. This is happening in a live event right now. And we go straight into a full review. You can have this. It stops the show and becomes a full advanced review. Here we go. This is what happened.
Brian Bynum donated $100 through a super chat. Textron review.
Okay, so we hope by the end of the day or by tomorrow we should rank for this stock. We do rank for most of the stocks that we cover on YouTube. And this is a full breakdown of the stock. Now, we are talking defense right now. We're talking military, we're talking planes, we're talking defense. And does this stock make sense as we approach the blackboard and look for the numbers and as we look over the stock? Does this stock make sense? This is a military stock. This is avionics. This is aircraft, all kinds of financing positions as well. So we're going to look at this for the very first time. This is happening live in a show. So please do tap the like button. This is a $100 request to do this review. And also, if you wouldn't mind, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel as well, in this review, I'm going to share with you details of the company. What is the company? I'm going to share you the profit, the loss, the balance sheet, the solvency score, the debt position, who's buying on the inside, what latest news is running around the stock. We're going to cover latest news that we've just discovered on the stock, what the company is saying, their link to Virgin Galactic. There is a link to Virgin Galactic. What are they doing with the Saudis? All of that's coming up. Ratings here on Seeking Alpha, comparing it to the S&P 500, back test, and also a dividend test. All of that's coming up, so you can make an informed decision whether you can make money from this stock. Is it a stock you can make money from? Well, let's turn on the money printer. Let's look over the numbers and peruse it. And before you get your credit card out, Mr. Jordan Smith, let's decide whether this stock is right for you to buy, hold, or sell. We'll also run a poll on X. Now, remember, I only own the S&P. I'm not here to pump and dump stocks. I'm here to give you a fair, open, honest review. I'm reading it for the first time, so it's unedited. It happens as it happens. All the B-roll and the effects and all the rest of it is just me happening live as I produce it. I don't change it afterwards. I don't go back and say, I don't like this or whatever, or someone offers me more money. No one sponsors me from the company. I'm just given a tip from one of my members to talk about it, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So let's go straight into the stock and let's decide what this is. So first of all, Textron. What is it? Textron, ticker symbol TXT, text. As you can see from the all-time chart there, it trends up, but it's very volatile. You can see up and down, up again, up, down. It's kind of got the secular type chart there. If you think about it, we see a lot of minerals and metals like this, where they go up, they sell off, like sugar, commodities, whatever, rise again, sell back off, do it again. I've seen this sort of pattern before. Anyway, let's scroll down. We also have a Meet the CEO series. I'll talk about that in a minute, how you can get the CEO on the show. Textron, a multi-industry company which leverages a global network of aircraft, defense, industrial, and finance business to customers. It operates through the following segments: Textron Aviation, Bell, Textron Systems, Industrial, Textron eAviation, and Finance. The Textron Aviation segment manufactures sales and services Beechcraft and Cessna aircraft. The Bell segment supplies military and commercial helicopters, tiltrotor aircraft and related spare parts. The Textron Systems segment develops, manufactures and integrates a variety of products and services for United States and international military. The industrial segment designs and manufactures a variety of products within the Kautex and specialized vehicles product lines. The Textron eAviation segment covers pipistrel, along with other research and development initiatives related to sustainable aviation solutions. The company was founded by Royal Little in 1923, so it's got a nice bit of history, and is headquartered in Providence, RI. The listed name for TXT is Textron. There you go. Founded in 1923, Rhode Island, Providence. We like that. 35,000 employees on the nail, and the CEO is Scott C. Donnelly. So Scott C. Donnelly, I invite you onto my show. I've interviewed CEOs before you, and I've got many coming up in the future as well. We'd love to have you on the show. CEOs have told me they like being on my show. They say it's better than Bloomberg and CNBC. We get to know the people behind it. We don't script it. It's not here to pump and dump your stock. I don't own it. I only own the S&P. But what it's about is getting my viewers, my members specifically, the opportunity to ask questions directly with the CEO. Also, what it does, we rank number one for the most of the stocks that we cover. So most of the time, the stocks will rally anyway, which is always nice. But we like to help businesses get seen by the world. As I say, we're not here to pump and dump, but we are here to tell your story and have you on the show. So we'd love to reach out to you and have you on the show. Just note, I never email or sell my services to anyone. I don't believe in it. I believe in underselling and over-delivering always. How all my CEOs have appeared on the show is investors have either contacted investor relations with this video or the invite video, which is below the video in the description. Go and check that out. There's the invite the CEO video, and you can be on the show. Also, they create social media around the stock, and we'll cover the earnings. We'll cover things like this. This was just asked for by Brian, who donated a $100 super chat, so I would do this in the live show. That's how we do it. You'll get to hear about it, and then hopefully then you'll decide to be on the show. That's what this family and channel is all about. Okay, so we'd love to have you on, but then you can call into the show whenever you want, and we can update our audience live during the shows anytime, and we love doing that. So there you go. Love to learn all about you, Scott. Right, now then, if you were buying this on margin, it's regarded as 25%, the same as the S&P. It's regarded, even though it has volatility, which is nice, because straight away we can see the way it trends, that you can buy at the bottom of the cycle, and it's seen the same way as the S&P. 25% margin maintenance, which means it's regarded as low or relatively low risk, which is nice. Buy it on the dip, make some money. Average volume 1.17 million. Very, very low volume. It doesn't trade very much. Interesting. Volume 493 today. Dividend yield 0.09. Very, very low dividend yield. We'll talk about it in a moment. It's a very unusual dividend payout, but it's kind of a dividend king. I'll share with you what I mean in a minute. I was just looking at it a moment ago. Price to earnings ratio 1893. So it makes money. However, is it expensive? Well, I'm going to give you the links in a minute where you can compare it to the competition, and you can make your mind up whether it's viable for you or not. You know how it compares to the competition. It's a $16.7 billion stock, so it's a reasonable size stock. Means we won't be able to manipulate the movement of it. We can for stocks under 1 million at the moment. We're a small channel, but we are growing 1,000 subscribers a week and doubling every month. But a stock with a market cap of around about 1 million, then yeah, I put a video out, everyone buys it, it goes up. That's not going to happen here on a 16.7 million market cap. We'd need hundreds of millions of viewers to be able to do that. So if you're expecting, if I gave a bullish report, the stock to go up on our investors, unfortunately, not Meet Kevin and Graham Stepan combined couldn't do that. There you go. 16.7 billion is the market cap. 52-week high, 97. 52-week low, 61.27. And now Morningstar, they're giving a review. I never use these reviews. They are paid, sponsored reviews. Mine are paid by the investor, not the company. So they're honest and real, and I don't own the stock. We don't know. We can't always say the same about Morningstar. But they are saying a 61% buy rating. What are the bulls saying according to Morningstar? Textron services an immense installed base of its planes and helicopters, which provide many years of recurring, albeit cyclical revenue. Isn't that what I just said? Looking at the chart, it's very, very clear that it is cyclical revenue. Absolutely. It comes and goes. So you buy at the bottom and off we go again. Now is a good time. Perhaps we'll discuss that in a moment. And Sensei might even be able to do a in fact, I will ask Sensei to follow this up because Brian has been so generous as a play it now request. I will ask Sensei if he could do a chart for you and provide the technical analysis of this review. And there will be a follow-up to this. I'm sure he'll do that for me if I ask him. The Bears are saying US defense spending may enter a down cycle, which would challenge the top line for both Textron Systems and Bell's military subsegment. But of course, that's not happening right now, is it? We've got more spending going on with the military, as we have in the UK as well. Let's have a look here. Fair value 84. That's what Morningstar say. But again, we will look at that. HRV earnings show tonight after hours now. Has it moved, Rallo one? I'm making a review. I will check that in a moment. We've got it as going off in the morning, but I will check that in a moment. Okay, now then. Earnings, you can see here, it's been going sort of relatively sideways for a while. It's pretty flat, pretty much consistently beating earnings. But as you can see, pretty flat at the moment. Actual expected July 25th. If we get a super chat, we will cover the earnings for this stock. Who's buying the stock? ExxonMobil, Broadcom, JP Morgan, Johnson & Johnson, all solid. RTX, Raytheon, solid stocks, all blue chip, great companies, no mullen, no scam stocks, all good, solid. That's why it's got the 25% on the margin position. So that's all good so far. We like this. Are we catching it on a downtrend at the moment? No, we're not. We was back in 2020, but now it's heading up consistently with what's going on in the war. So I mean, we're down today. But no, we are climbing now. We've had a little dip here over the last month or so, but really there was a drop. But really, we are at the top of its cycle once again. Is it a good time to buy? Well, if we look at it, it is secular. You buy here, and there'll be another dip. I don't know if it's the time to buy it yet, but of course, we've got a lot of threats around the world. So anyway, let's move on. So far, do you like it? Subscribe, ring the bell, and tap the like button as well. That'd be fantastic if you wouldn't mind doing that. Let's see if this stock can make you money. So what do you think? We are looking at defense. Do the numbers make sense to you? What do you think? Send your thoughts across the airways as we discuss it in the situation room around the world. Always makes me laugh when I hear that. Anyway, there you go. Textron. Let's now look at some numbers, but we're going to go deep in the numbers in a few moments. First of all, let me share with you the dividend payout. 2 cents. It's a kind of dividend king in a way. What do I mean by that? Since 2012, what is a dividend king? Consistently paying out, consistently going up. Well, it consistently pays out 2 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents. I mean, literally 2 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents, 2 cents, try and do a bit of auction. All right, it doesn't work. Anyway, every single quarter we're paying out every quarter 2 cents. It's not going up. It's just a consistent. So it doesn't qualify for a dividend king, unfortunately. But however, it is consistently paying out. How does it compare to the S&P? Well, the S&P is in red. Textron is in blue. You can see there are some comparisons here. No doubt about it. It kind of exaggerates, if you like, what the S&P does. Here we had some stability, nothing really going on. And in 2020 with COVID, it fell off a cliff. But it kind of did the same pattern as COVID, but as the S&P. It just exaggerated it. And then when the S&P started to rally, it went again, but just slightly below it. It's just slightly look, it's like the S&P, but in miniature. It's interesting, isn't it? Interesting stock. This it literally tracks the S&P, but just at its own ratio, so it was slightly lower. That's a very interesting chart, I think. It just demonstrates the secular element of this stock. If you buy it here, I think you can do well. It rallies more than the S&P, but anyway, it's very interesting that. Okay, let's go and look now at the chart. You can see today, we're not going to discuss the chart too much. Sensei will do that for us. If I ask him, I'm sure he will. So we'll look at that later. We have got a strong buy here from Seeking Alpha. Strong buy, Wall Street, give it a strong buy. And Quant, normally a very aggressive, sort of pretty much sell everything, is a hold. So that's quite bullish for the stock. So far, we are looking at a buy. But it is at the top of its range. I wouldn't normally like to buy it there. We've also got some latest news here. US Saudi Arabia are said to be close to signing a defense treaty. This was just a couple of weeks ago. Lockheed Martin, NOC, RTX, and TXT all in there with a deal happening here in Saudi Arabia. So I just wanted to bring that to you. It's not specific just for TXT, but they are in the field here to gain from this. That's no real surprise. So I'm not going to read all this through because it's kind of bundled in with all of those US companies. So that's an interesting bit of information, but it's not just them specific. Now, they are linked to Virgin Galactic. They are the ones that are providing the feather and control services to Virgin Galactic. Brian, who's an investor, knew that, and then I went and researched it and confirmed it, as I like to confirm all information. They are supplying the feather and control services to Virgin Galactic. Now, of course, Virgin Galactic, if they do well and continue to build out their fleet, then of course that's another benefit there. All right? Okay, let's see what Textron say about themselves. Textron is one of the world's best known multi-industry companies, recognized for its powerful brands such as Bell, Cessna, Beechcraft, Easy Go, Arctic Cat, and many more. The company leverages its global network of aircraft, defense, industrial, and finance businesses to provide customers with an innovative products and services. What began as a small New England business in 1923 has grown to a $13.7 billion company with a worldwide presence supported by 35,000 people in more than 25 countries. Throughout its history, Textron has been the source of groundbreaking technologies, numerous industry firsts, many major steps in the evolution of aircraft, rotorcraft, armed vehicles, electrical vehicles, and automotive systems have emerged from our product development labs. This is all great. Sounds great. Solid blue chip. We like it. Follows the S&P. Pays a dividend. Not much, but consistent. We certainly have growth on the stock. It's secular. Good opportunity to buy the stock. No doubt about it. History. Now we come on to the balance sheet, the numbers. Does it make sense to buy it now? Well, there's a big difference between it's a good company and we like it and can you buy it now? That's a very, very different prospect. Anyway, let's have a look at the numbers. Let's start off with the intrinsic valuation, which is reliable here. It's reliable. This valuation is regarded as reliable and it's 20% undervalued. So it's already into its secular cycle, but has a 20% undervaluation built in. With what's going on in the Middle East, maybe there's a good chance to buy. So far, it's a buy from me. It's not just the best. It's just not the best time to buy it, but probably still is a buy from me. So let's start off with saying it's a buy. And let's see where we go. Best case scenario, 40% undervalued. Average base case 20%, worst case 5%. We are a growth stock. I can overpay 25% for a growth stock, particularly with a good explosive element to it, which this one does. Pardon the pun, but it does when you consider what's going on in the world right now. So it's a buy from me so far. Let's move on down. we've got revenue up 0.8. That's good, and expected to grow. And I would expect that to increase now. 3% operating income up. Net income is up 1%. Financing cash flow, however, is down 32%. Okay. Investing cash flow is up 11%. They're investing. Operating cash flow is negative 13%. So it's not all perfect. Okay, move on down. What about a balance sheet? Now then, what we don't want to see is upside down balance sheet. 16.4 billion in assets, 1.5 billion in cash. Okay, very nice indeed. 9.5. So we are on the right side of it. Long-term debt makes up 3.2, which is 30% of our liabilities, which is about as much as we want. So it's not perfect. It does have some long-term debt. But of course, with interest rates, in my opinion, about to come down, that's a major catalyst for a major step upward in a stock that holds debt. It has a bit of cash. It owes 3.2, but it has 50% of that in cash. It could wipe out half its debts tomorrow, but we have a good asset to liability ratio, so we're okay with that, and a nice bit of cash. So the balance sheet isn't the best, but I'm guessing when I get down to it, and trust me, I don't see it until you see it. You're looking at the screen that I'm looking at live for the first time. I would predict it's probably got somewhere in the region of a 50%, which would be green, solvency score, because it looks okay. It's not going to be 80 or 90, but it could be 50%. And honestly, I can't see it. There's no way I can see it until I scroll down. There's no way of me cheating because it's right on the screen here. I'm guessing from experience about 50%, which will be great anyway. 15% margin. We don't know how that compares to competition. I'll give you the competition in a moment, but we are all positive. We're not negative. We're making money across the board. ROA, net margins, operating margin. We're making money. The company makes money, all right? Okay, and there you go. I'm quite chuffed with myself. I said 50%, 57. I was pretty close. That's just experience of doing nearly 200 reviews. I get an impression of way things look, of how things are going to go, sentiment, how people are going to vote with their money, buying and selling. Get a good feel for it when you've done about 200 reviews over the last nearly 3 years now. So that's good. Just a medium Altman Z score, but they're not going bust. It's not the best balance sheet in the world, but it's a very good balance sheet nevertheless. Profitability, 51%. Positive 3-year revenue growth is the only thing that's bringing it down slightly, but that could change very quickly. So we're looking good. It's definitely a buy from me. 15% upside. That outperforms the S&P slightly. So, and remember, that's including the dividend, even though it is only 2 cents. That's okay. I would expect, though, we could be somewhere between the highest and the mid-range, maybe somewhere in the region of 25%, which would be very good, nearly double the S&P in a solid company like this. 6% downside. I could afford that on a downside. I would simply just buy more on the way down, and I would be able to average that down. So definitely a buy from me. Moving on up, the competition. Now you can access the competition by looking at Boeing, Lockheed, and General Dynamics here, and there are more. If you go to click above my head and down below in description, you will find the link to Alpha Spread. This is the software I use. All my members can get a lifetime discount of the software, and it basically makes my membership free or a free plan. And if you get the premium plan, I do get a one-time commission, but if you use the free plan, which you can do, I don't get anything whatsoever. All right? Just so you know. All right, insiders selling. Bearing in mind, though, that was back in February on the drop. Makes sense. They know it's secular, and they sold, and it drove it back down, and now it's on the way back up again. So we've had no buying recently, but the size of the company and the amount that was sold is merely tax. It's not a major sell-off at all. So that's bullish as well. Still a buy from me. No short interest, 2.59. Hardly anything. No short squeezes here. Nothing like that at all. Let's have a look. 2 months ago, not a great deal of attention on the stock, really. No one's really that excited about it. It's just a blue chip, solid stock, which means we will probably rank for it number 1 within a few days on YouTube because no one's really covering it. So we'll cover it with a bullish response. It is a bullish response, and it's bound to rank on YouTube. Okay, there we go. So there is my review of the stock. It's a buy from me, but no, it's not the cheapest cheapest time to buy it. It's not the best time to buy it, but I think the balance sheet, the macro conditions, the news surrounding it, the fact it's not getting much attention at the moment, people will start buying it, the election, this sort of thing will feed into that. Into that narrative. I think that spending is likely to go up. It's a solid company, been around for a long time. Balance sheet is good. Short interest is not an issue. It's a buy from me. So Textron, thank you very much for bringing that to me. I really do appreciate it. A fantastic super chat. It was a play it now request, which means you stop the show and do it straight away. There we go. It's one for me. So click above my head, down below in the description for all the links. Invite the CEO. You can get him on the show. It's been done before many times, and it's being planned to be done again many times in the future. Organize that. If you like the video, please tap the like, consider subscribing, and over here I'll put more reviews. I've done nearly 200 reviews now, and of course anything else that's relevant to Textron. If I do get a super chat, I will cover the earnings of this stock and bring you more and more news as it turns out. There you go, Textron, another review. Thank you very much, Brian. I do appreciate it. Until next time, as always, it's a bye from me. Take care of yourselves and each other.